The Carolina Hurricanes have not only broken their curse and made it past the conference final, but they won the Stanley Cup. Congratulations to the Carolina Hurricanes and their fans. Unfortunately, I don't have a Canes jersey, so I dug through my boyfriend's closet and I found this old Panini jersey. And I pinned the logo on the front. Before I talk about the Canes, let me talk about Mitch Marner for a second. Ha ha! Marner loses again. Go Leafs, go! Go Leafs, go! Mitch Marner losing on home turf? Typical. At least Matthews has a gold medal. What do you have? Toronto has Gavin McKenna. You have nothing. I'm sorry about that. I turned into a little asshole there. Mitch Marner was my least favorite Leaf, so let me be a bit nice to him for once. Mitch Marner is a good player. Mitch Marner is a good player, and he made it past the second round. He made it further than that. He made it to the finals. Marner had the most points in the playoffs, and he had 2 hat tricks. Genuinely, I was concerned that he was actually going to win the Stanley Cup, but this emphasizes my point that Mitch Marner was never the problem. It wasn't really anyone on the team individually, but more the team as a whole. Marner has found a team that he clicks with much better. Do I like that that team happens to be my least favorite team? I don't mind. Do you know how many NHL regular season games I've watched with Mitch Marner in them? 2. The ones against the Leafs. I barely see Mitch Marner play throughout the year, but I will say I'm impressed. When he was with the Toronto Maple Leafs, he was without a doubt the second best on the team. Like the rest of the core 4, he would underperform in the playoffs. He was just clearly not a playoff player. His regular season was statistically the weakest in a long time, but he was the most impressive this playoff run. I'm going to repeat this again. 2 hat tricks? I was convinced that he was going to win the Conn Smythe if Vegas had won. And while we were waiting for the Conn Smythe winner to be announced, we were a bit worried that Mitch Marner was somehow still going to win, but luckily he didn't. But of course, Toronto Sun published this stupid article about how Mitch Marner fell short. Did he? Kind of, but so did the rest of Vegas. You can't blame Mitch Marner for losing 3-0 because anyone else could have scored. Mitch Marner didn't fall short. Carolina was just simply better. Now on to Carolina. I like to highlight some of the star players that caught my eye. Jordan Staal. I wasn't really sure going into the final who's going to win the Conn Smythe if Carolina won, but if you watch the final, it was obvious. Staal was a goal-scoring machine. And his brother is Habs legend Eric Staal. Taylor Hall. I'm really happy that he has a Stanley Cup now. He's genuine proof that sometimes it just takes time to win. It took him 16 seasons, but hey, better late than never. I thought that he had the highest odds of winning the Conn Smythe for Carolina until the finals, but he was the runner-up. Plus, he had the game-winning goal, so props to him. Jackson Blake. If I'm being honest, I don't know who he was before this playoff run, but to be fair, he is very young. He had the most points at the Carolina Hurricanes in this playoff run with 20 points at only 22 years old, and he signed for $5.1 million for 8 more years. Nikolai Ehlers. It must have been hard to leave the team he's played with for a decade, but hey, he won the Stanley Cup. 8 goals, 18 points, an empty netter in Game 6 of the finals. Logan Stankoven. I wanted him to win the Conn Smythe for some reason, but it didn't happen. Honestly, he was a great consolation prize for the Mikko Rantanen trade. $6 million for 8 more years, and he's amazing. You guys won the trade, in my opinion. Sebastian Aho. Kind of underperformed considering his regular season record, but hey, he's a Habs legend for a solid 7 days. Shane Gostisbehere. Like Jackson Blake, I hadn't really heard of him until this playoff run, but he's thoroughly impressed me. 12 points as a defenseman and +2 differential. Good job. Seth Jarvis. He's my favorite Canes player. He's just a little bundle of joy, and his friends making wag jackets, so adorable. If the Vegas Golden Knights had won and I had to see Seth Jarvis sad again, someone's getting torn a new one. Andrei Svechnikov. Every time I watch him play, I just think of the time he tried to fight Ovechkin and got destroyed. But he's one of my favorite Canes player to watch play. He's just so entertaining. Frederik Andersen. All throughout the playoffs, I thought that he wasn't that good of a goalie and that he just had a good team in front of him. But after seeing Bussy play and taking so many pucks because his defensive line was kind of failing him, I appreciate how great Andersen is. He's definitely not going to re-sign with the team after this, and I wonder where he's going to go after. But no matter where he'll go, he has a Stanley Cup. Brandon Bussy, the best for last. I honestly thought he was going to be the starting goalie, but to be fair, I thought that Akira Schmidt was going to be the starter for Vegas, so I don't really know. When Montreal faced off against Carolina in the regular season, I was happy that it was Frederik Andersen as the goalie for 2 out of 3 games. That's how much of a threat Brandon Bussy was. He definitely would have taken Jakub Dobic's spot on the All-Star rookie team if he wasn't too old to be considered a rookie. Bussy had 3 starts to the game and he won all 3. The future of Carolina is bright with Bussy as their starter, and even brighter with the shiny new trophy they just got. Anyways, this was an entertaining playoff run, or at least from the games I watched. I can't wait for the next season since my days will be quite boring without any hockey to watch. But if you liked the video, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!